You've seen it anyway. I went through it
Yeah.
last week. Okay. Vicky's here. Dominic's here. Dewan's here. Ronnie's not here. Jenny's here. Tom's here. Cool. So we just talked about pricing for the municipal lot. I think that the feeling was that we should keep it a daily rate, not weekly, monthly options, and keep it at $10 the way that it is now.
Yes, I think we should go with the daily because we just see, let's see 1 year, see what happened.
Mhm.
Then we figure it out. We should go for the permit, not, you know.
Or maybe we
Yeah,
do 6
yeah.
months, see
Yeah,
what happens,
Yeah,
you know.
I think we should start with the basic first, like a daily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we could start it from there.
Okay. All right, so, and then we are in agreement of, the reason that I'm asking about the pricing right now is because the paperwork that we have to fill out in order to get the kiosks here
Hmm.
includes stuff about the programming of the kiosks themselves, so, and the programming of the text to pay. So, without knowing the pricing, we can't get the kiosks. So it all has to go at the same time. So we are in agreement that $1 is for,
Mhm.
okay,
Dominic, you wasn't here, so you know what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Dollar
$1
a day.
for,
$1 an hour.
okay. And so for,
and that's for the parking.
Parking, yeah.
Right.
All parking.
I thought we were gonna encourage them to, we had it lower in the parking lots to encourage them to park there, not in the street, right?
no, wait, hold on. We're not there yet.
Okay.
Just Warren Street. $1 for an hour.
Yeah, that's.
And then we cut that price in half for anyone who's disabled, for anyone who's over 65, and for anyone who is a contractor,
65 or 67?
65 and over.
Why is it 65? Why?
For seniors. It's definitely a senior.
When you
That's
technically
Yeah,
become,
it's
yeah.
not 67?
No, 65.
That's a retirement time is 65.
So that's okay with everybody? So $1 and then 50 cents?
So we're cutting it in half?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay, a question, how are you gonna determine that, they have to prove it?
So
When they-
what they, I've already asked about this with the programmer. So since everything is done by, there's a handheld that the enforcement guy goes around with the handheld and he writes the tickets.
Mhm.
So when he enters your license plate number, he'll be able to see, oh, this person gets a discounted rate, so they haven't gone over or whatever. It's just gonna be automatic. Yeah,
You have to agree.
so you're gonna have to come in
That sounds good.
and you're gonna say, here's my driver's license, I'm 65. Or here's a note from my doctor saying that I have a hard time getting from, like A to B. Or, hi, I'm a contractor, here is my home address, and here is what I do for a living. Yeah, Logan.
I have a question, the member of the
Yeah.
public.
Yes.
Bill, go ahead.
No, I think we should do that in the end.
Let's do that in the end. Yeah.
Okay.
We're not gonna take any comments now. yeah.
Okay, Jen, so when you say come in, so come in here,
Yeah, and just,
register.
and show it to our bureau chief.
Mhm.
And then they will pass it along to the person
Do
who,
they enter it in?
No. well, I think they can enter it in from the back end, but, they can pass it to, if they're not able to, for some reason, they can pass it to the programmer and the programmer can enter it.
So construction workers, is that timetabled or?
So right now, there are permits given to people who are in construction because they're oftentimes at a place more than 2 hours. So as it is now, I think there is a law that says if you're over 2 hours in a specific spot, your tire gets checked and then they ticket you after that. So this is so that they don't have to move their car with all of their equipment in it away from the spot that they're in.
I thought they already get permits.
That's what I'm saying, but we're not doing, I'm
Okay,
trying
this
to
is-
do away with
Okay,
permits.
so, but it's only per job.
No,
If
it's,
he
it's
works,
forever and ever. That's the way it is now. That's what I've heard, that you get a permit and it's kind of the same kind of permit. It's a $250 permit unless I'm misunderstanding it. And it's good for you being in town, working anywhere you want. Because you've got a truck full of crap and you can't not have that equipment with you when you're working. So,
Okay.
yeah. Those are the three instances that I could think of. Right
So
off
you're
the top
saying
of
we're
my
not
head.
gonna have that anymore? We're not gonna have those.
We're not gonna have permits, but we're going to have, hey, here's my license plate number. This is what I do. This is why I need it. It's already programmed
And it
into
would
the
be
system,
50% off?
not for the people who are contractors, but for the people who are disabled or over. 65.
Yeah, okay, but for, what's for contractors? you said?
They don't get their tires checked at 2 hours.
Hmm.
So they can stay there. Yeah,
I think you need to check with the HPD, because I think they issue the parking permits for construction.
okay. I'll
I'm not
ask,
sure.
I'll ask Chief.
Yeah, I don't know.
But there should be an expiration of those permits. on
I
those.
think, I see, I don't know. For
Well, if
some
they
reason,
go
I
out
see
of
abuse in that regard.
Oh, do you? How would that happen?
Well, because, okay, say if I'm a contractor
Mhm.
and I don't do any business in Hudson, but I'm a contractor.
I agree with Dominic.
Hmm?
I agree with you.
Well,
Yeah.
then every time they do a job, they're gonna have to go.
No, but
it
I'm saying,
doesn't
so
work.
now, so that contractor, even though he doesn't do any business in Hudson,
Not every time they should have like time frame.
Yeah,
Like,
an
okay,
expiration.
six
Right.
months,
Yeah, otherwise they all gonna
yeah,
be,
3 months, like that.
yeah.
you're gonna have contractors from
Then it doesn't work.
all the good spots in your restaurant.
No, but it doesn't work then,
What is it?
Why is that?
because it's based on your tag. And you have to have this tag uploaded to the system.
Okay.
You know what I
let
mean?
me- let
It's
me-
not like a piece of paper you can just chuck in
Yeah,
your
let
window.
me ask something. I don't know, the apps, they're gonna use it in the phone, the smartphone.
Text, yeah.
The
Did you
apps,
watch the video I sent?
I did.
Yeah,
But I
it's
thought
easy.
It's easy, but the thing is, when they set up the apps, is this possible that time they could put that like age if they're citizen, I mean, or senior?
No,
Or maybe,
no,
you know,
that
benefit
would
from-
require rewriting all of the software. That I know. You'd have to rewrite everything. They have certain things they can fill in. And one of them is license plates and it'll recognize the license plate if it's been given to them. Yeah,
Can it record, if people already have, the disability, what's it called, that card?
In the test.
oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
oh, that's an interesting idea. I don't know. But I don't know if those are not related though to your, necessarily to your license plate.
Some of them
Some of them are.
Some of
Yeah.
them are, but they can be, I mean.
Move, they can move.
they can- they
So
can be
this
old,
would be
too,
specific.
somebody else.
And that's the other thing. If you're someone in one of those situations where you're getting a discount or you're not, you won't, the 2-hour rule doesn't apply to you. Now I've lost my train of thought.
I'm just worry a little bit that, let's just say I had a project on Warren, in January. And then, I had this permit, not permit, this free 2 hours. And then I go in May and I'm like, you know what, I can go Warren again and nobody's gonna bother me. You know?
They still have to pay. They just can't, they're just not getting a ticket.
No,
for
it's
being-
free.
No, they're not getting a ticket for being overstaying in a spot for more than 2 hours.
Does that actually happen though?
So,
Yes, it does.
so any construction vehicle, if they park in one parking spot, if they park there for more than 2 hours,
They can,
they get a ticket.
they can get a
How
ticket.
about if they pay for the parking and stay for like more than?
You know what, the city
They-
financially is losing by not getting the ticket though. By not giving them a ticket. If you think about it, it's a loss.
Well,
for
what
us.
we just did a few minutes ago is a gain. So
What do you mean?
the $10 a day.
Oh, okay, no, but
I mean,
we have to gain all the way. I'm just saying, I don't know how you, huh?
I disagree, because you're talking about.
These are people who
are
live
in the
here,
trades
yeah.
that Sustain the city. I mean, you don't want, you know.
Yeah, I
No, no,
agree
I-
that, yeah,
no.
but there should be a timetable.
There should be an expiration, a time frame when they work and then it expires. That's what we are saying. We're not saying not to do it.
Yeah,
It's not.
As someone who knows a lot of people in the trades here,
oh, okay.
listen, no one is ever going to want to sit in front of somebody's house or on Warren Street with their giant truck full of tools. They're not going to stay overnight. They don't want tools being stolen. They're going to go to wherever they're storing these things, dump them in there and park their car in front of their house, like everyone
Okay,
else.
so we cannot do this because it's not programmed. We cannot have an expiration date on those,
I mean, I can
Can
ask.
we? Because I would like to know if there is a way to do that.
We
Actually,
need-
they are paying still, they have permit or not, I mean,
Yeah,
paying, but they pay for the.
But even if it's a renewal, right, even if it's just a renewal, right, because again, if you're in there, are you in there for the whole year, or you pay for the whole year?
no. The way it currently works, you pay $250, you get a permit, you can park wherever the heck you want, whenever you want, for as long as you want. You know, if they go to Nicole's house and they want to work on her plumbing, they're gonna spend all day there, they know it. They don't want a ticket for, you know, because they've overstayed 2 hours and the police have driven around 3 times and saw it. You know, like, that's why they have the permit.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah.
I totally understand. I'm just saying, once they're done with the project. there
Yeah,
we go.
but then there's the next project. Hopefully they're working continuously.
Not
I think they also work many projects.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So every time you do a project, every day you have to get a new permit. I don't think that works for most people.
How many permit they have like this?
She actually sent me the number and it was a lot. Right now, as of right now, there are 151 permits. Well, as of when I asked her. So that was, a month ago. So there's 151 permits. That means the potential loss of revenue just on those permits, what I calculated was 182,000.
So-
Well, it was 220,000, but then I took out some because whatever.
Only a handful can be plumbers, because we only have a handful that can be licensed.
No, that's for all of the $250 permits. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
everybody who's got one.
Okay.
So some of those are, I know, construction people, but then there are
I
other
think
people.
we have to get more information on this. We are not
Yeah, I
going to
think
decide
so.
now. We need to talk to HPT. We need to exactly see if we can have a time frame there. We need to just see. it
Well,
more.
okay, how about this? Instead of, because we have to get this information in order to fill out the paperwork in order to get the kiosk. Why don't we decide what we want and then go back and find out what's currently going on? Does that make sense? Just say what you want.
Yeah,
What, and then I'll ask the
We just said
programmer.
what we want. We want to have a time frame of when they, you know,
I don't think it's possible.
well, that's what I'm saying is,
So I can ask the programmer, but I don't, we have to fill out the paperwork. We've already lost 2 weeks.
no, I
Starting to
know,
lose
but
my
it has to be
mind.
correct paperwork. And I'm saying, you mean to tell me like, you know, Fifth Avenue, New York City, I'm sure they have the similar kind of passes for the contractors. So that means they can just park anytime.
Everything in New York City requires so much more bureaucracy than it does here. That I don't think that's apples and oranges. You cannot compare that
Yeah,
place
you
to
can
this
compare
one.
with the New York City too.
I just gave you an example though of a city, of how things work, and we have to make sure we do this correctly, that's all. So, I mean, to me, this sounds a great system, just maybe if we can find out if we can put a time frame on it, that's all.
How about if it's not possible, what do you suggest then? Like, okay, if there's no time frame, what are you gonna do? I mean, what are your suggestion then?
So these go yearly, those passes?
Yes,
Yeah,
you're
I
like.
think I'm gonna sort them to, semi-year, just have them every 6 months. And if somebody, because then
So we're
somebody does,
losing money. Potentially.
how
yeah.
can we lose?
Because the
money?
money's not upfront,
I don't know.
right?
Nicole.
Can I say something?
She's like,
No,
I think what Jennifer was saying, because I think what happens, like, let's say there's an electrician, right? He's not just working one job, he might work 4 jobs in Hudson that day.
right,
And it's the same with the plumber and, it's the same,
yeah,
except I would say, for maybe construction workers, they're usually on one job. But they
Or
can
a long
also
time.
move if that construction team is doing several properties, then they're gonna be moving from each property. So I think it is hard just to permit every job because so many of the trade people
Okay.
are doing many jobs at once.
since you said it, it's for in 1 year, there is a time frame, that's it, we should move on with that. She
Okay.
said it is
There-
1 year.
If we're not giving timeframes to anything else we're doing, to do it just for this seems very strange. We are not giving timeframes to elderly people or people with disabilities, or even people who park in a lot where there should be timeframes. We're not doing it for anybody else, but we're gonna do it for contractors. I mean, as soon as their license runs out for whatever kind of work they're doing, then it's revoked.
Yeah, but how you
No,
think-
I think now you're comparing two different things. One, where we're saying a contractor can go and park for 2 hours, but then if they go over the time, we don't charge anything,
Right.
correct?
Yeah.
So what I'm
Don't get
saying
a
is the
ticket.
city is losing money, because if that person did his 2 hours and then went and had, a dinner and did other things,
Vicky, no
Then-
one is going to leave a truck full of tools in front of a restaurant, ever.
And dinner's after 5 o'clock.
okay, lots,
Yeah.
lots.
No, they're not gonna take a lunch usually. I mean, these people, I know because I'm married to one. And he's doing 3 jobs right now in Hudson and having to go from place to place with all of his tools in his truck. And he doesn't have a permit, but he's the project manager, so he's usually
Okay.
not there very long. The other people who are the laborers, they have trucks full of tools, and they're huge trucks. Like, they can't be parked in a place for too
So
long.
we're not talking about, what about like,
I just think
handyman, which can be kind of a business, right?
if they have a legitimate business and they walk in with their, here's my business card, I live in
I'm just saying,
Hudson.
if you're talking for 172, this is our 100, how many passes you're talking? It's not just, it was a
150.
handful.
No, not all of those are construction.
No, I know.
There's a handful of construction, and then the rest of them are people who are probably trying to cheat the system in some way, and they are bigly. Like, it's now, like I said, it's almost $250,000.
I think we need to review those, that's all.
Okay, we're gonna try to get this information, but we're gonna move on from next.
Okay, so next, that was short-term and permits. Solutions to Front Street parking issues. So last week we discussed making the Chamber of Commerce parking lot a more obvious municipal lot because it's owned by the city. And if we just put up reserve signs for the number of people that actually are
Work
working there, then the rest of the lot can be given up to municipal.
And that would be during the day, not for the night. Right.
No, night, as long as they're
Why
out
not?
by 9 o'clock.
Why not?
Yeah.
And then I did ask Rob Perry about the gravel lot, that's, I guess, Water Street, Ferry Street, about paving that and lining it, and he told me that it would be about $175,000. That still stays within our $400,000 budget.
Something like that, okay.
Yeah, that's what that was. And then we also discussed, which you brought up, which I thought was a great idea, making Allen and Union one-way starting at 4th Street. I don't know, who do we have to ask?
I don't think we have to ask anybody, we can do it as council.
Okay,
Starting then from fourth uptown,
no, 4th down.
fourth down.
That, I think that'll solve the problem.
Actually, I think the council members of the first ward should,
Yeah.
check with their constituents and
Yeah.
see
Oh,
if that's
okay,
something they want.
They wanted it.
Yeah.
So the one that you talked about for down at
So-
the riverfront.
So one would be going up and the other going down, right?
Yeah, so when I was driving today and I was being really cognizant of what spaces were taken up, I went down to the parking lot, I counted the number of parking spaces that were actually open. There are 11 open that were reserved and only one that was a numbered spot. So then I drove out of the parking lot and then I was like, if I were someone searching for a spot to park in right now, where would I go? So I looked down Cross Street. Most of Cross Street was taken up. And then I looked up Allen and I drove down Allen purposefully because I remembered Nicole last week or last month. And I saw that almost every single spot, there were 2 spots open on the first block. And then it opened up a little bit more. And I have a feeling that that's because Front Street, really good restaurants, Amtrak, blah, blah, blah. And there's no other place to park because every single parking spot is taken up in the municipal lot. If we made Allen coming toward Front Street from 4th, then it would be harder for people to park on Allen and they'd have to find another alternative. If we made Union going the other way, it's further away from the restaurants and then that makes more sense somehow. Then, and also, by the way, while I was on Allen Street, because the cars were parked in 2 different directions and there was a construction vehicle trying to get out and maneuver, and it was a huge construction vehicle. It backed up traffic. Literally, there was traffic all the way down Allen and onto Front Street. So, yeah, I think it needs to change anyway, regardless of this issue.
You're saying Allen.
Coming-
third to front, down.
4th to front.
So there is-
Why?
there is no-
Third.
Well, 3rd.
Third.
Okay, yeah, 3rd. 3rd.
Allen will go down, Union will go up,
Yeah.
right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Because when Allen crosses third, it's wide, really wide.
Yeah.
That's a double.
Yeah.
So
When you did that drive, I'm just curious, for all the other real challenge seems to be Second Street
Oh, yeah.
because of all of the shops, you know.
I think
because
that should be
of
one way
because of
too.
Talbot, because it's getting to the point. where you
Second
can
Street,
hardly
you
even-
can't get
Yeah,
through it.
no,
That's a blind corner.
It's scary.
But it is really dicey now to get.
All right.
So the $175,000 that paid down
Yeah,
at the waterfront.
yeah.
Is that to make that into a paid parking lot?
yes.
Yeah.
You want it to be paid?
I think it's okay, right?
Well, I'm saying if we're gonna invest that kind of money into a paid parking lot that's not gonna be paid. We should invest in the parking lots that are gonna be paid to be more inviting on some of the conditions of some of the municipal.
There's one that is so bad that people don't want to park in it because they're scared they're gonna wreck the cars. And that's on Warren Street, and we should be really ashamed of that. It's where Moto is.
Third. Well, that's what I'm saying. If we're gonna pave
Third,
something,
yeah.
let's pave something that's gonna be paid parking, right?
Well, let's see how much money, let's see how far we can stretch what we've got. And if that's possible, because it's only, that's like a quarter of the size of the other one.
Right, but
Yeah.
it should be cheaper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Maybe we can do it.
Right.
Yeah,
And I think just looking forward to that other parking lot when Dunn goes into,
Absolutely, yeah.
doesn't have to be done right away.
no,
Correct.
it doesn't. I was just trying to
Yeah, no,
put it in the, yeah.
Can I ask who owns the parking lot? Here's the width. And then there's a big open parking lot, and then it's the
good question.
Is that, who owns that?
That's Ben.
Is
It's all Ben.
Ben
Did
Finn.
you buy it? I wasn't sure, 'cause I think, wait, are you
No,
talking-
he
That's
has,
a huge parking lot.
Which part are we talking about? Right next to it on Cross Street?
Yeah, like if you're looking at the width and you're on Cross Street.
that is Ben's parking lot.
Right, there's a big open space.
That's Ben's parking lot.
Yeah, I know, sure.
Yeah.
I thought,
Because I knew Nora was hanging on to it for quite a while.
He
Or
has,
Marguerite Silverstone was now the WIC, kept that separate property and it was being rented to the WIC. But I don't know if it's still.
no, well, I know some things that maybe you don't.
Okay.
He owns it. He owns it. Okay, so anything else on that particular subject of
So,
how to,
Go back.
yeah,
Allen would be one way from Third to Front,
mhm.
now Union would be.
The other way
One way from Front
to Fourth,
to Fourth.
then you could take a left there if
Right.
you wanted to.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we can just do that.
Okay, let's do it. All right, cool. All right, so now we're on to, if we are going to hire a consultant. And so you sent Tom this, consultant professional services agreement.
Right.
Parking and Mobility Consultants Incorporated, who is this?
That's the person who talked to us.
Is that Kevin? Okay. So
I'm sorry, I shouldn't, I thought that was.
you sent it without any email. It's like, what is this? So it almost felt like a directive, not like you were asking for any input. So,
I was sitting in a meeting when.
oh, okay. All right. So I just have I have a couple little issues with just the wording of some of this,
Okay.
because I think it should be a little bit more in depth. Consultant will further develop parking permit system, and I said parking permit alternatives. Because we, honestly, we just don't need them with the technology that we have. And then it says at the end, consultant will master all features of cloud software offered by T2 and other vendors, which is great. But I really feel like we need to somewhere in here say that they will be working really closely with the current parking bureau person, who is Kim Gaylord, and suggest ways of improving and streamlining their system that already exists. And maybe we ask him to be physically here.
no,
couple of
what
days.
I was thinking is to ask, I think I sent you an email that to interface with the public, in
No.
parking related. Why?
Because that's not, okay. I mean, that's what Kim does. She is the face of the public. I mean, why would you don't hire a consultant to deal with, what do you mean by interfacing about
Well, if they see something that is not working properly, that they can, they can say, hey, listen, that is not, I had issues with that. They're going to bypass him and go directly to ask the person that sold it.
Well, he's not the person that sold it, it's T2.
Yeah,
They, I think, offer all that, don't they?
Yeah.
yeah, but they're not gonna go and call T2,
We're
whoever.
gonna call ITS, which is local, who's relevant.
So I'm just saying, yeah, I don't know. I was
Okay,
thinking,
I understand, but Jen, I will give you Kevin's number, you want to call him?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I'll do that tonight.
Okay, and then
I think he's kind of waiting for a call, so
okay,
you can
I'll
negotiate.
call him.
And maybe, I don't know if we should put this forward to Crystal or not. I mean, I don't think it's, what do you think? Do you think-
It says, and the consultant will report to, and then there's a big question mark.
Yeah.
So I was saying, I just wrote in here to the common council, like they should maybe do. It's gonna report to me.
Can they go to Crystal if there's gonna be a contract?
Yeah, I think that's good, yeah. You work on it, get it tomorrow, and then we'll send it to Crystal. How's that sound?
Okay. Okay,
I don't think it should be reported to common council.
Yeah, that's true.
Because the common council changes. Every 2 years, we have different people. We have to report to somebody, an employee of the city. Don't we? I mean, we may not be here.
Yeah, that's true.
I was thinking, it would be more like a report where, hey, this week, this month in parking, we did this, like
Well, that
they
is
do a
BD does
report.
that, right?
Yeah, we can
No,
add-
they do a report,
Yeah,
like the youth department or HPD.
Yeah,
Yeah, monthly.
that's what you mean. by
Yeah.
fine,
Yeah,
Rather than, yeah.
but like as a direct report, who does Tracy report to, or do they, the mayor? Okay, then it's the mayor.
Yeah, because I think ultimately he's gonna have to sign the contract. anyway.
Yeah. But, giving a report of what's happening every
Right.
month or two would be kind of cool, I think.
Yeah.
Timing and budget. All right, sorry this is taking so long, guys.
That's what we're saying.
So I sent everybody a document today that has all of the breakdown of what I have received from T2 and from the, what's it called? From the card systems people. Card Connect. So essentially, when I looked at everything, and we're going to need an additional 16. So we're gonna have to double what we already have ordered in order to do all of Warren, plus 4 kiosks for the 2 Warren Street short-term parking lots, and the Chamber of Commerce and Columbia Street. So that's another 16. So that's another additional amount of money. Where we're at, basically, and I guessed on signage, and I think I'm probably low. So phase 1 and 2 are a specific number. I don't know if I should say these things out loud because these papers that came to me were marked confidential.
So you should.
So the one thing that I don't know right now is I asked Rob for a number about the electrical, because some of these are going to need electrical because the street will be too dark on the south side of the street. For 4 that we know of, but there might be more because if we're gonna do this all the way down Warren. So I need to ask him again. I've already asked once, I'll ask again. But we're just under the 400,000 that we thought so far.
I'm sorry, can I ask one more question?
Yeah,
If you're gonna make it one way,
Mhm.
from third to front, then would we still be moving our cars every other day?
That is a Rob Perry question because,
That would make it very challenging if it's in the middle of a snowstorm and you have.
oh yeah, it's already challenging, yeah.
Allen Street to do
Yeah.
that. It was
Yeah.
going down.
No system is different, that's an emergency system.
Yeah. I think it's, he's going to say, yeah, because they can't,
Still need to clean.
yeah, they need to clean the
still need to
street. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yep, and yeah.
Well, maybe he can give a break to that area, you know, like.
Yeah, but they're gonna plow everybody in. Well, I guess, I mean, does that really matter? I don't know.
What you do is just switch to one side, they plow, and then you have to go to the other side.
Yeah, but you're still in that situation with snow, for me to turn my car
Right,
around in a snowstorm when the snow's already banked up,
yeah.
is gonna be extremely
It's
challenging.
very
Right.
hard to do.
Yeah.
And dangerous, yeah. for
Yeah.
everybody. I don't blame you.
Yeah, it's awful. Okay.
But we have one-way streets. I wonder
Yeah.
how they're doing it, like, yeah, it's right here, where is it?
Yeah.
Fifth Street, yeah, I wonder how they do.
Going,
Yeah,
Yeah,
state
six going
too,
down.
yeah,
yeah.
not too many.
Between Colby and State.
yeah.
You know what, that's a good question to ask on the next informal meeting.
So
Okay,
currently
yeah,
sits between Colby and State gets ticketed.
No, we're not talking about, we're talking about.
I want to ask that for you.
Washington Street's one way.
Huh?
Washington Street's one way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know where Margaret is, she's on you, she said she only has to move her car on Thursday.
Washington Street is kind of
Mine,
wider and
On-
seems
No,
to me, it's not a downhill,
Right,
it's kind
but
of
some have
hard
parking.
in the snow.
Yes.
I mean, what she's saying, I can only imagine, it can be hard.
yeah.
It's already
Downhill.
even when we.
Yeah, downhill, yeah.
It's a downhill in the snow, kind of narrow, I think Allen's.
It is narrow,
very
yeah.
wide.
Very narrow.
So I think, I don't know, we'll figure it out. I don't want to promise anything. but- Okay,
Okay.
what next?
What next? Next is,
Oh, yeah, did we discuss that we are okay with the $1? That that's okay?
Yeah.
The money is good,
and are we okay with,
$10 is good.
Yeah, kind of.
are we okay with, so $1 and then 50 cents for
The senior and,
seniors and disabled? Is that okay with everybody?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll ask Chief Franklin and Tracy
with the contract.
about, how do we handle the contractor permits? And then how do we, again, are we going to phase out permits?
Yeah, we need to discuss that, but I think we need to find out better, what is going on. So let's
Then
just get more
everybody,
information.
no, I don't think we can wait another month because in another month, everybody that's heard this conversation who didn't know that $250 permits exist are gonna come in here. I'm not kidding. Tomorrow, there'll be 40 more.
Yeah.
So we need to make a decision, I think, on whether we cease this or we keep going. The other thing is the municipal lots on Warren, and I don't know if this is the same situation for all of them, but right now they're at 50, or they're at 50% of whatever we're charging, so.
Well, we can't do anything down to a formal meeting anyway, so they're gonna get them anyway. So we
No.
can't seize it to the
Yeah,
formal,
we.
change it to formal meeting, right? So if we say yes today, the formal meeting in November is when it takes place. We can't. So whatever
what
we
I'll
say now,
do-
they're gonna do it anyway.
So what I'll do is I'll reach out to Tracy and get her to give me the entire story one more time in a very specific way. And then I will email everybody so that you guys have the information and maybe we can write something up so that we can change this or fix it. Back to the municipal lots.
And the county employees, we need to find out more about that.
Oh, it's free now.
I'd like to make a public comment on that if I might.
Yes.
My name is Sarton Weinrob. My group is the group that submitted the petition to restore the Amtrak permit. And
Yes.
as we've studied the matter more, it's been very clear that to take away the Amtrak permit and keep the municipal permit is in many ways unjust for a lot of.
We're trying to do away with both of them, Stuart.
I understand, but my point to you is the two matters really should be addressed equally and spoken about equally. I think that's the fairest way to consider them. You guys are losing so much money every day with the municipal passes still in place, much more than you're losing by eradicating our Amtrak passes.
That's not true, but
That isn't true, actually, but
Really?
it's,
I mean, do the numbers.
yeah,
We've done them in
really.
our group.
I have done the numbers, Stuart.
You think about
Respectfully, I have done them.
I'd
And
like to know what they are.
I
Our
know
numbers.
how much money we are losing on both, or at least an approximation.
Mhm.
So you've heard what we've been discussing. I hope you understand that we gave a lot of time and a lot of really good thought to the situation with Amtrak, or I shouldn't even say Amtrak. It's a municipal lot that's for long-term parking.
Yeah.
And
I
we're
mean-
doing the same with short-term parking. Please don't interrupt me. And also, because we are trying to fix the situation for you guys down there, we were going to give you the first kiosk and the new system of text to pay. That is why we wanted to clear up what was going on with parking in that specific lot tonight. The other lots, we have a little time on, but we had to come up with something tonight. Yeah, let's
motion to adjourn?
motion to adjourn.
Is there anyone else? That wants to talk? No?
Any other public comment?
We still talking, but it's muted.
Okay.
Bill wants to comment.
Okay, go ahead, Bill.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Got a few comments if you could. As historic as downtown Hudson is, I really am not looking forward to the kiosks. I think
I know, but the meters are so historical.
the meters can be, they're just a nice touch. To see them all go eventually on Warren Street, which is your plan, and for kiosks to come on below 3rd Street, I think it's antithetical to the whole idea that we live in a very historic and beautiful downtown. So there's that. And I know you've made up your mind. You're going to kiosk the whole town eventually, and it's all going to be computerized and everything's going to be wonderful, but it's all going to look ugly, frankly. And I think it's going to get ugly because if you rely on this high technology stuff and you have a difficult time finding and keeping parking enforcers who work for HPD and not a parking department, it's going to be a mess. So that's what I say.
Bill, you've obviously, Bill, I'm just going to stop you right there.
It's just my opinion.
You're entitled to your opinion, and that's exactly what it is. You haven't been paying attention to any of these meetings. All we have been trying to do is get a parking bureau set up and a parking chief to run that bureau. That's exactly what we've been doing. And many of us do disagree with your opinion that it's going to be ugly without the parking meters, which are so antiquated that they only take quarters. We cannot do anything with, changing the rate that people are paying because we know that people don't carry around buckets of quarters with them. And that's all I'm going to say on it. Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Okay.
What a waste.
Have a good night, Nicole.